Yes, they're in Nairobi, most of them. Most of them are in Nairobi. So, if the CS and given the response, I want the senator who raise the question, at least to be affirming to us that whether he's satisfied or she's satisfied, whether he has a supplementary question, so that we avoid the repeat, the way the CS is reading the whole response from A to Z. So, Senator Sifuna, let me hear from you, whether you are satisfied with the response or you have a supplementary question.
Speaker, I read this response and I was not satisfied, but I started first by correcting you that the Nubian community is spread all across the country. And in fact, part of the question was the discrimination in identity cards issuance. We were told that vetting had been removed, but in Kisii County, the reports are that they are still going through that vetting. Now, Speaker, the communication that I received from the CS is unsatisfactory for the following reasons. First of all, Honorable Speaker, it is not clear whether there is a formal recognition through something like a gazette notice or a communication. You see the response that he has given has no annexures at all. In 2016, when we were recognizing the Makonde community, Honorable Speaker, there was a full ceremony. There was a full ceremony. So what the Nubian community is saying, if you have issued a code, you have done it silently, do we have any document? Is it going to be gazetted? Is there going to be a formal ceremony? Does the issuance of a code now recognize them as the 50th community in Kenya? Those are the reasons why we are saying, Honorable Speaker, this is not a satisfactory response. Let him add those specific details. And lastly, on the question of land, there was a court ruling in 2015 that required the restitution of the remaining 3,000 acres of land or appropriate reparations to the community to be done. The CS has not addressed himself to that question of land restitution. So let him provide those two clarifications. Will we see a gazette notice? Will there be a formal response? Is there any formal document saying that they have now been recognized, or is just the word of mouth of the CS constitute them as the 50th community in the country? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Any other member with a supplementary question on this particular one? Senator Manzo.
Mr. Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary indicate, the order followed to recognize communities, Mr. Speaker, because it's been happening once in a while after a community has come out strongly fighting. Could he explain whether they have a program so that we could know, other than the Nubian community, which other community is likely to be gazetted as a community? Because we have still unrecognized communities in Kenya. And how many are they in total? Those ones which have been recognized and those are yet to be recognized. Because it's been happening slowly by slowly, Mr. Speaker, from the Shona community, different communities. Once in a while, they get recognized, the ones settled in Kenya, Mr. Speaker.
Do you know one that has not been recognized? We start from there. Which one?
Mr. Speaker, what happens is that we have quite a number from Makonde. Yes, I want to be informed, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mohamed Faki.
Ni kweli masuala ya makabila kutambuliwa ni jambo ambalo liko hadhir, na kule kwetu pwani kuna kabila ya Wangazija, ambao Wangazija originally they are from the Comoros, but they have settled here for many years, and I brought a statement in the course of this year. I don't know whether Senator Chute had worked on that, but Wangazija, Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni baadhi ya makabila ambayo hayajatambuliwa katika.
Senator Faki, you cannot be changing languages the way you want, you know. You just stick to one language.
Samahani Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Swahili, please stick to
Samahani Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni kwamba Wangazija, kabila la Wangazija ni katika makabila ya Waswahili. Ni moja ya yale ambayo hayajatambuliwa katika Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Na majuzi nileta taarifa hapa katika bunge letu, na nafikiri kamati ya uwiano na Umoja wa Taifa inashughulikia swala hilo. Asante.
Senator Mboni.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I was the one on the floor. Mr. Speaker, that's a tribe I was forgetting, but I'm aware there are quite a number. I'm sure Honorable Murkomen knows.
And got the question, he has the question.
Yes, so that he can tell us how many more from Wagazija, now how many more?
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, we must collectively congratulate the government for the decision to make it easier for the Somali community and other border communities to move away from being discriminated. But Mr. Speaker, this is the time. The minister must now tell the country, what security layer have you put there to ensure that potential terrorists who have used these borders before and visited a lot of violence to Kenya do not abuse this directive?
Answer those three questions, clarifications or supplementary questions, then we make progress.
I think, Mr. Speaker, and I want Senator Sifuna to listen to this. Because I'm responding to this question.
The CS is
I think Senator
your
Sifuna
attention.
is confusing recognition in terms of as a standalone community with citizenship. The reason why ceremonies were done for the Shonas, the Pemba, the Makondes is because they were gaining citizenship. The Nubians were not gaining citizenship. They were being recognized as a standalone tribe in Kenya. And that has happened so many communities, and it's ongoing. Like even now, I have an application in my office from the Mara community, from Tarakanidi. They want to be recognized as standalone from the Nidis, that they want to be recognized independently, and so forth. And it goes through a process of vetting, consultation, public participation, and so forth. For the Nubians, as I read in the statement, they were already Kenyans, and they were recognized under Code 81 until now, 2020. On the question of I think that was really your main concern. On the question of land, I think that's beyond my jurisdiction, unless I specifically go about it to seek lands, and maybe an issue that we need to continue interrogating. And if the question was to come to us specifically, that security component, of course, we will deal with it. I think that applies then to all the supplementary questions, including from Makueni Senator and from the Mombasa Senator. All Senator Manza and Senator Faki, all those questions are actually related to citizenship. And so we go through application processes. And there's one from, I think, Bali, from Taita Taveta that is under consideration, under application, and so forth. And that will be processed accordingly. We also have a secretariat that deals with minority groups that then identifies these groups, and then they usually ask it to be identified independent of the others. Senator Boni Galwale has raised the question of security with the removal of extra vetting. No, first of all, Senator Sifuna said that in Kisii, for example, Nubians are still being denied identity documents on an account of being not citizens. Now you need to separate that there is Nubians, Kenyans, and Nubians who are still coming from other countries, Sudan, Uganda, who are leaving other countries. So they have to go. If you don't meet the criteria of Kenyan citizenship, of course you still go through process. You will be denied citizenship if you are. It's just like we have Maasai from Tanzania and Maasai from Kenya. Not every Maasai will be given ID here, or a Luya from Samia from Uganda and Samia from Kenya. It doesn't apply, or a Sabaot from Kenya or Uganda. So there's a process that you have, or Pokot from Kenya and Uganda. You have to go through certain processes. Mr. Speaker, on the question of removal of extra vetting requirements for citizenship,